Hello everyone, this is a Final Fantasy XVI video that I figured would be a fun change to the channel a little bit. And we're going to go through the game, New Game Plus, Final Fantasy mode, after Phoenix Gate because the game doesn't really change before that. It's pretty much playing the same. But this challenge essentially is playing through the game with nothing but what the game gives me. So the ultimate weapon there is not staying. We are going to change that to the Imperial Infantry Blade. I did consider using the Braveheart for the beginning here, but I already filmed a bit of this before with that in mind, and it just drags out the fight a little longer, so I'm not going to bother really using it. The biggest thing about this challenge is damage. It's going to take forever to get through a lot of fights because I'm just doing less damage, and I'm going to be using pretty much a starting sword until the game gives me like the Invictus later on. And the only accessory I'm going to equip is the Time of Ringly Assistance, or that's not English, Ring of Timely Assistance, because mashing directional button when trying to attack is kind of annoying. So if that becomes a really big problem later on, it gets kind of easy, then maybe I'll take it off. But that's pretty much the only accessory I'll roll, just because it's annoying. Um, Otherwise, we're going to unlock all these and then just reset everything. Now, with icons, what we're going to do for this challenge is basically not use anything until the game is supposed to give it to you, right? So I'm not going to use Garuda until I beat Benedicta. I'm not going to use Odin until I beat Barnabas at the end of the game, you know? So we're gonna go through the game as if I get it naturally. So a lot of abilities I have, like Limit Break, I can't take off. I'm not going to use it until Clive unlocks it. But that does leave us missing a lot of essential abilities like Stomp, Precision Dodge, Maxed, or like Charged Blades, Fire Out, all that jazz. So that kind of sucks. So we'll be doing basic combos, essentially, which drag out the fight, like I said. But yeah, we're pretty much just earning stuff as the game gives it to us. And I am level 95, but that won't make much of a difference. I was going to start this challenge at level 50, but that would have taken way too long. And as I said, I have tried to film this before. So, beginning part of the game won't be too bad, but as we get later on, it's going to get a little long. So a lot of fights, I'm going to start skipping a bit, at least just to, for time's sake. We're not going to watch a 3-hour video of me fighting Fafnir, So, if there's any like mistakes or like boss fights that I think are really worth mentioning, then I'll definitely commentate over it. Otherwise, I might just leave it with no commentary, just to see, I guess. That's up to you guys. This video is purely just to see if anyone's interested in this, because I will be doing this casually myself. I just don't know if it's something people are going to watch. So let me know in the comments if you think that's something you want to watch. Like I said, I probably won't have commentary in a lot of them, and a lot of fights I might trim out some parts because watching 10-minute fights over and over again get kind of repetitive. So I'll try my best to snip out anything that's kind of like boring. Because like this Shiva fight, for example, is pretty straightforward. You just pretty much dodge as she starts winding up for an attack, and then just counter, and then you wait, and then you do a bit of chip damage, and then you repeat the cycle. So a lot of boss fights are like that, even though I'm screwing it up here. But yeah, I'm not gonna go over every single boss fight like this. I am doing now anyway. And I'm sorry if I'm stuttering. It's like 4 a.m. and I'm just high on caffeine. So yeah. Anyway, the beginning part of the game is as far as I've gotten so far. I haven't progressed too much farther because this is just basically an experiment. Another thing I should also mention is that I'm also not doing many side quests because there's really no point to, and I'm not going to use items during fights unless the boss gives it to me or something mid-fight. Some enemies do drop items like potions during fights. It just really depends on what the enemy is. But since my item bag's maxed out, I'm not going to use it, and since I can't do any side quests to increase the item bag anyway, I'm just not going to bother. So that's also going to add a bit of challenge. So I have basically one go, and if I screw up too much, then I'm just going to have no health and have to retry the fight. There are a lot of checkpoints in boss fights that are kind of generous, and I'm still debating whether or not if I'm going to use them, because sometimes it skips like the first half of the fight, which is cool, because I don't have to pick away half their health again. But you know, after you learn the enemy mechanics and stuff, it gets easy to you know, just learn and then just not bother getting hit. This also is not a hitless run by any means. I'm not perfect at this game. The only boss I've went hitless on is like that Knight Assassin in the first mission with Sid, and that was on like normal mode. So I'm not gonna be going nuts on like hitless because I'm just not that great at the game. And since I have like no abilities to work with anyway, there's no way I can possibly do something like that. So we're just gonna, you know, try our best. Well, at least me, I'll try my best not to get hit too much. But yeah, without abilities like lunge, it's really hard to close the gaps and really deal damage, which is what really sucks about this challenge. You won't be able to do like burning blade and stuff like that, right? So it makes combos kind of boring because it's just me doing magic burst, and that's pretty much it. And then icon abilities when I get them. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It could be, I could unlock them, but again, I'd rather not because that's, you don't have it unlocked from the get-go. So, if anyone wants to, you know, see me do them, then I will for sure. Because believe me, I like stomping on enemies. It's great. But something like Phoenix might just be one of my mainstays throughout the game, just because it's a gap closer, right? So, that or Shiva, but that's at the end of the game, so I'm not gonna waste my time just trying to like figure out how to close gaps. So, anyway, that's Shiva defeated. The next fight with Tiamat here, and these guys, Ironbloods. Also, nothing like super difficult. It's a pretty straightforward fight. Like, he choreographs all of his attacks. I'm not perfect at this fight, mind you, but it's easy enough, and dodge timing is really easy. It's very it's forgiving in this game, to be honest with you, and that's what makes a lot of fights like really good. I know icon fights are pretty much going to be unaltered, so those fights are just be eye candy, I guess, for those at home. But I don't really think much of the game's going to change, aside from the fact that I'll be doing less damage and no real way to like juggle enemies with like skills. So I don't really have a plan for like my end game loadout yet, and I was thinking of doing some hunts just to have something different than just main bosses, but some hunts require quest lines to complete, and I don't know if I have like a list of like side quests I can do. So I'm just not gonna worry about that too much until endgame at least. So until then, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, hopefully though you guys enjoy this series. I'm gonna make these at a steady pace, I hope. I'm not really sure. I still work a full-time job now again, so I have a little less free time to edit videos like these, which is why, you know, having commentary and trimming out long boss fights is going to be a little, you know, I don't mind doing it if people are interested, but I also don't want to make a video that 3 people is going to watch and then just have like 40-minute videos of me like detailing every single thought in my brain, but and then, you know, go on a tangent or something at some point. But we're not gonna worry about that. So anyway, we'll let you enjoy at least this last fight here, and we'll call it a video for today. And again, if there's any questions or anything that I should, you know, do, just let me know in the comments. And if you like it a lot, just hit the like button. If you don't like it, dislike it, whatever. And if this is the only video of Final Fantasy 16 I make outside that platinum trophy, then you know, that's okay, I guess. I'll just do this on my own casually regardless, so I might still record it. It just won't be at like a fast pace, right? So anyway, enjoy the rest of your day and this video, and I'll catch you all later.
Still clinging to the past like a torn blanket. Then you will die, as you should have 13 years ago. Why, man? one, and I will not fall by your hand! Not this time. Toast though. This time. Toast though. Traitor's blade.